Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome to Vectors and Pixels. This is the second stream of the week. We stream on Tuesdays and now on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Arizona time. I know this comes to a surprise for some of you. Last week we tried this and my streaming software had issues. And so only people who were able to see me on Facebook even had an inkling of what was going on. So this is, hopefully we'll make up for it for the rest of you. For those of you that are on Twitch and on our YouTube, we are coming to you live as well. So here we are. What is Thursdays all about? Why is Jeff doing a Thursday stream as well? Doesn't he have enough with his Tuesdays? I like drawing, I like art, and I'm enjoying the process of sharing it with you, and it gets me excited about doing it again, knowing that we're going to have some fun, we're going to play, and we're going to do art. So I decided to, one, hold myself accountable to try to get some of my projects done, so that's what Thursdays are about. Tuesdays are about whatever floats my boat. Good morning, Brandy. I have missed you. I hope you are well today. I have been watching some of your glass art evolve. It looks amazing. So Thursdays are going to be for projects. Projects in this case are going to be the ABCs of adventure. We are on letter I. I'm not necessarily going to work on them in order, but I have so far, and we're up to I. Tuesdays are going to be, like I said, whatever floats my boat. And it turns out, let me get this organized over here. I wanted to do another three-piece spread, kind of like the night wall, except night wall is so dark I wanted to go completely opposite, something very bright and colorful. And I got inspired by some art that I had seen and decided to give it a try, but I didn't want to do a large piece. Let's see, Brandy says, missed you too. I'm doing pretty well. Sorry I've been out for a bit. I'd love to chat with you later after the stream. Oh my, I hope it's all good and exciting stuff. So instead of being big 20 by 30s, which turn out to be 60 by 30s when they're on the wall, plus an inch or so, so 62 by 30s. Not a lot of people have that kind of space. And I wanted to think of something that was interesting, that could stand on its own in each individual piece yet come together. And I don't quite have that last bit, but I did come up with something that was going to be 11 by 14s. I'm going to be on canvas as well, and I wanted to do something bright. Let me show you. Here is what I've come up with. It's definitely interesting. Nothing here was sketched at beforehand. All of this, I sat down and went, okay, here's the idea, and I started doing it here in the computer. And this is where we kind of left off. The dragon wasn't there when I left off. I don't think the buzzard was there, but the buzzard was suggested during the stream, which was amazing. I love getting ideas from the group. These squares here represent what will be seen on the canvases, and to make it a little more clear, everything in the pink is what gets wrapped around to the sides of the canvas. So it'll be printed, but it'll be on the sides. So I need to make sure whatever is in there fits inside that framing. And then of course everything else gets cut. And I think I've got some pieces at work here. Well, good morning, Jeff. How you doing? Hey. Oh, hey, look, it's one of my favorite humans. Oh, thank you. Brandy says, I love this. I think the cacti on the left should have a small lizard silhouette crawling on the side of it. You know what? I thought the exact same thing. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I'm not exactly sure how I want to do the silhouette. But I agree, this needs to have a lizard with his tail curled up, maybe more like a chameleon. I know it's not a desert animal, but it would be kind of fun to have something that's stylistic in there. I'm doing good, says Jeff. Currently working from home, but wanted to pop in to say hello. Well, hello, and I'm glad you're able to work from home. I have been doing it for a few years, and the commute is amazing. And you guys are lucky I wear pants. Working from home in your underwear is novel for about a week. Then it's just ew. After a while, it's like I have a naga hide, I guess, chair, and it's like ew, sticky. Just after a while in the summer, it gets a little warm. Anyway, this is how it will be seen. This in the center of each pink box is exact. Well, good morning, Lori, and how are you? Love the three pieces and agree about the lizard. We're all on the same page because I've been totally fussing with trying to figure out how to get a lizard in there, and I'm glad everyone says it needs a lizard. I'm like, that perfectly echoes. Brandy says, disagree. I've worked from home since March of 2020. Best thing ever. Working from home in your underwear? Which was my statement. Working from home is amazing. Working from home in your underwear, novel for about a week. So that's all I'm saying. And yes, it is the best thing ever. I agree. All right, let me go ahead and remove the pink, just so I don't save it with that on there. And then we're going to hide the template. So here's the piece. Yeah, sure. Wah! Like I said, you guys are lucky I'm wearing pants. Barely, I'm wearing pajamas. So they count. But here's the piece. I'm very happy with the buzzard. I'm pleased with the dragon. It still needs something. It still needs something. But the lizard is probably what I'll focus on when I work on this again. But I just wanted to share where I had gotten to from Tuesday in the stream there. And this definitely took me directions I was not going to go. I don't normally do sun like that. I don't do clouds like that. And I definitely don't work in these colors, especially if it's silhouettes. Originally, the cacti on the cactus, cacti plural, the cactus on the left was black. It was a black silhouette. And I was like, it's too stark. It was also much bigger. It was just a little too stark. So we tinted it. Well, I tinted it, played with it a little bit, and this is the result. And again, I'm very, very happy. I think each one of these, when finished, should be able to stand on its own. I almost want to make the dragon bigger, but then he starts getting, when you start looking at the perspective here, and it's like it's already Godzilla proportions, but it would really be Godzilla proportions there. So I want to kind of avoid that, but I'm really liking the direction of this piece. But this is not why we're here today. We are going to work on, I'm going to save this. Not that there's anything to save that's changed, really. We're here to work on this. And this is I is for Initiative, which sadly our hero was slow to make. And I think I have solved J and everything up to L. I think I've got everything up to L figured out in my head, artistically in a picture how this is going to work. I was kind of stuck. So what I have here is basic layouts. This is where I left us last week. And we have the goblins sneaking up on our hero, and they're going to get ready to do some naughty things to him. So they're grinning and having a good time with their goblin-esque ways. In the background, we have some yellow lines. That represents the cave, which I might play around with a little bit. And then the goblins themselves are just heads. They're just floating heads. I wanted to get their positions right before I did anything else. So let's go ahead and hide the text and show off the goblins. The goblins are just some heads. I really need to fix his teeth. I'm not happy with those teeth. And we'll address each of the goblins' needs as we move forward. I think, however, I want to address this cave a little bit. Most of it's going to get covered up, so I'm not going to go bug nuts with the details, but I do want them there in case I have to move things around. I've already kind of set a bar for the look of the caves in the background, so I'm going to be pulling colors from those. I'm going to open up some of the other pages and pull colors and ideas from those, but for the most part we're going to work on these and they're going to be their own thing. The first things I can see is I need to clean up some of the line work. I need to work on the separation of floor and cave and get some depth and push in there. I might have to do some reverse drawing on the opening, move that line back a little bit. In fact, I think that's something I'm going to do right now. So as I'm working through this, I'm going to probably tear it apart and put it together so many times. Let's get, is this the background? Geek? Nope, that's the reference. There we go. That's the one I want. Yes. That is what we want. Yeah, yeah. You're good? Yeah. He's good. Yeah, yeah. Alrighty. I think he's a great size. The dragon? Okay, perfect. Thank you. We'll pedal. We'll pedal with him later. Right now, actually, holy snockers, what am I doing? Nobody knows, including myself. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take all the yellows. Actually, technically, I could take the whole thing. Trying to figure out what I want to do, how I want to break this down so that I can manipulate it and use it. And one of the things I think I want to do, let's do this. It's easier to deselect than to select all that yellow. Is I want to go ahead and pull the yellow off. We're going to change the color to that. Clean this up. Won't be perfect, but close enough for government work, as they like to say. Doink. Just make sure everything's clean. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to make the background. Yeah, we're going to make this whole background a symbol. So we're going to turn this into background. I know I'm going to regret this, but I'm doing it. We're going to open this up, going to add a layer, and then we're going to say paste in place. Of course, that place should be close. There we go. All right. Color, cave lines. I just gotta need to figure out what the heck I want to do. Well, let's make the cave lines. Let's start with making the cave lines darker. Just for now. Just give us something to work with. There we go. Suddenly it's a whole new ball game. Yeah. And I think, is this, yeah, that's one piece there. So let's take our color. Whoa, too big. Let's try that again. Maybe we had this at 2. And then let's just close. So I'm going to fill this, so I need to kind of close all of these little openings, and then I want to keep them separate enough so that if I just decide to do some variation of color, I can. It won't give me too many problems. Ooh, yeah, here we go. All right, and then basically I'm just going to make a big box so that if I need to do anything, I can. It is. We all know I like to overdraw just a little bit. Apparently this side of the screen, I want to go back to the center. I'm going to move this out of the way here real quick. Move my keyboard. Let's undo that. Let's undo that. I can make a better line than this. One of the most fun I've had collaborating with other artists was a panel I did. I think it was for Leprechaun. And we were guests on it. No, was it Leprechaun? Might have been Phoenix. Brandy, you were there. The guy that was talking about making a good line. Was that Phoenix Comic-Con or was that Leprechaun? Was that another convention I'm just totally blitzing out on? But one of the most fun, it was a panel of artists who all worked on art for a particular independent game developer. It has to be Phoenix Comic-Con, it's the only one I've been to. Well, there you go. And he made such an interesting, he was very passionate about this too, about wanting to draw on people who come to him for advice. And he says, just don't worry about drawing, just concentrate on making a good line. I was like, that is such simple advice, very truthful advice. Just focus on making a good line. Of course, I'm not making good lines, but in this case, I don't have to. And I could probably make this easier on myself by zooming out, but this is kind of fun. And these lines don't have to carry any weight of composition with them. So these lines here I'm doing are just functional lines. They have a function. They don't have to be pretty. So we're gonna connect up here. But I thought that was such a great philosophy, and I've brought this up dozens and dozens of times, even on my streams, and most of you have heard the story about just focus on a good line, but I was kind of blown away not only by the simplicity of the advice, but I think more by the passion behind it. And to me, that's my advice. Follow your passions. A lot of people ask about, I want to be a game developer. I want to be, get into game dev. And there are a lot of great ways to get into game dev, but I always caution people to be absolutely positive that that is what they want to do for the rest of their life. Because if there is any doubt, you should probably go find something else to do. And then I tell the story about a game development conference in Austin, where it was a kind of a meet and greet. People who want to be game developers, the public meet game developers. And the people on the panel were amazing people I consider veterans and seasoned professionals from the dev wars. And they opened up with stories that scared me, talking about the horrors of game development. And I thought to myself, I needed a new job at that time, and I'd been doing it for 12, 13 years at that point. But But they also told the joys of the story and the passions that drive those joys. And I left that with the experience of being a game developer will absolutely positively be the worst experience of your life, and you'll love every moment of it because you are passionate, you are dedicated, you are driven. And without those, you probably should find something else to do. And I think that could be said for any field. If you're not passionate about the field in question, probably should find something else to do. So always follow your passions. Figure out what drives you. And do that. Brandy has gone in a direction I don't think she would have considered a few years ago. And she's doing art in glass, for example. I'm picking on you because you're here. And I'm sure it comes with its challenges and its surprises, as it should. And I'm sure the challenges are sometimes overwhelming. But then when you look at the satisfaction of a piece finished, you wouldn't trade it for the world. Pick on me, I love doing the glass. Right, and I bet you when we first met, that was not a thought that you were going to have. It's not something you would have thought of. And each cut is seasoning and an experience and a good story and a lesson learned, I'm sure. I am fascinated by people who work in glass, especially Victorian style glass. That to me is amazing and beautiful work. All right, well, didn't want to do it like this, but we'll do it like this. There we go. Clean up some of those rougher lines. Fortunately, it also tends to make something go away. So I'm going to have to double check my work here. Each one for sure. I had no idea I'd be doing this years ago, but it feels right. That's because that's where your passion lies. Undiscovered passion up until the point you tried it. And I couldn't imagine the joy that you felt when you discovered the passion for this unusual and strange medium, because it is, every element of anything has an art form to it. And working in glass, there's the glass itself and the cutting of the glass, and then of course there's the letting and and of course the design, which is the very artistic part. I could just, and I'm not working in glass, just experiencing from the outside from a distance, can understand that there is so many little things that you have to be proficient at before you can get a whole, and each one takes mastering. And it's the same for anything. Everything you do in life has steps that need to be mastered, and if you have a passion, those steps are a joy. And drawing a good line was this guy's joy and passion. It's actually interesting. I signed up for a class and thought I'd hate cutting the glass, thought the noise would bother me. I bought earplugs to the class and never needed them. It's incredibly satisfying. I bet it is. All right, so I kind of have my line work laid out a little bit better. There's a couple of spots I want to fix here, and I'm going on ad nauseum about just random stuff, because to be fair, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with this piece just yet. That's kind of the joy and the fear of this, what I'm doing. And it's kind of cool. All right. Hold your breath and take the plunge, I think would be the advice. The only thing that will go wrong is you regretting not trying it. All right. it's going to be in the background. No one's going to really see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to open up another one of the cave pieces. I'm probably going to borrow heavily from them too. I think C is for cave. That's a great one to start with. So C is for the dank and dreary cavern that is truly not for the meek. And this gives me some colors to work from. I'm going to hide the text. And there's a lot going on here that we don't need. But I do want some of the basic colors. I want these blues and these greens in particular. So I think I'm going to put the green here and here and run these as blues and maybe green on this piece here. We'll see. But I'm going to open this all up. And then let's pull these greens. We're just going to get the base green. There's a lot going on here again. I have brushes and things that are in the way. So we have a mask, which you don't need. Those are highlights, which we can hide. Get rid of those highlights and that brush. Start breaking it down to its really basic colors. I'm going to take this. Sorry about that. And it looks like we've got that color going on here. I'm going to hide this. That's just there to give me a backdrop to work from. I think that's a good start there. And we're going to hide that for a second. There's a bunch of shadows in here. But I think these are the colors I want. So that's shadow. And these are these. So let's use these for my colors for the blues. And whoops. I said whoops. What am I selecting? I'm trying to select. Are those locked in some weird way? Yes, they are. All right. There we go. And again, we have a lot going on here. And we'll probably use those colors. Whoops. Nicole Wilmore has liked the stream. Why, thank you very much, Nicole. Welcome to the stream. You're coming in from Facebook. Yay! Come on in, say hi. Thank you very much for coming by. Going to grab some colors here. Trying my best not to do my Bob Ross impersonation. We definitely want the blues to be here and here. I don't know if I want... Yeah, that kind of works for me. Like I said, this piece is going to be in the background, so it's not going to really get seen, but I do want to make sure all the details are there in case it does get seen. So we're going to go back over here. I'm going to grab my floor color, which is dynamic, and I want that dynamic color. It's basically a gradient. It's not dynamic. It's just a gradient. Get over myself. Shrooms. Yeah, and this is me just tearing these layers apart. There's the mid cave, some stalactites and stalagmites, some shadows, more shadows. Just tearing it apart. And then far mid cave. These are the layers that go into something silly like this. And there's the floor, which I could have just gone to the floor and said, hey, floor, come here. And let's see, don't want that. Don't want that, just want that. All that just so I can get a gradient. Good grief, what am I thinking these days? We're not going to do that. We're going to do that. And then we're going to go eek, make sure that's where I want it. Work darkness here. All right, now we've got kind of a cavey, floory thingy-mabobber going on here. So, I think we're going to take this color and put it there. Now, really don't need that anymore. but we're going to leave it there for the moment. And we will, let's take this and take the color that it is and drop it significantly, and gives us that to work with. Yeah, that'll work. So let's go back over here to the scene. Let's show everything, including our templates. Don't think we need line work. Okay, that's that. We do want that. What's that? Where's the template? We just get rid of that. There we go. Everything else is fine. Everything is awesome. There we go. So now we have a little bit of background. I don't have to put too much detail into it. I will add some texture and gradients and things like that to help sell the background, but I don't want to do any more than that until we know how much is actually going to be seen. And I don't think we're going to see more than maybe this little bit right here. This is being blurred out by the torch, and of course he's going to be in here. His body should block most of this, and then we have this near cable piece right here that's probably going to get seen unless he has a bit of arm or something that comes in here, which I don't think we will have. So I think that's all we really need at the moment. I'm of course going to mess with it and just kind of tear it up and do bad things, but yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. So with that said, gotta work on the bodies. I've been avoiding that because I haven't quite worked out in my head what's going on back there. I guess it's time to figure that out, huh? So I'm going to take and hide everything but this guy. This guy right here, gonna get a workout. He's a goblin. Hey, come here. Here we go. There we go. Oh yeah, he has bits over here. I kind of started his body a little bit, but I was like, not buying it. So I'm going to fix what I don't like with this. First we'll start off with this. Get rid of that. Just kind of figure this guy out. Just not sure what I want him to be doing, so I think that's why I've been avoiding doing anything with him at all. We can just get rid of that. I don't think we need that as much. Play around with it a little bit. Of course, these will be his sleeves. I just don't know what I want his arms to be doing. So let's get, is it the right one? Yeah. There we go. And let's play around with, sure, he's just a little too fat. I know he's a fat round goblin, but he's not that fat. I'm big bone, man. This a little bit. I always like little tears. Makes it a little more interesting. Tells a little bit more of a story. Let's bring it in. Yeah. All right. Maybe. It kind of has him leaning into our character a little bit more. Yeah, let's play around with that a little bit. Now I'm going to do something really silly. We're going to call this body. I'm going to work with the heads and bodies separately. What is this? That's the head. What's that? let's hide that. Let's hide this. What's that? Is that an empty? That's empty. All right, sweet. Makes my life easier. Bring this back down here. And move that so it's useful. All right, I'm not really interested in working with the head, and we don't need that just yet. So, I have drawn him. Where's the reference piece? Is that it? Oh. That's Kiev again. It's an old character. Looks like everything's in here. There we go. Oh, fine, be that way. We'll put it on this layer. There. Happy? There we go. Ah! Too much! Too much! There we go. So I just want him for reference over here. So I got him. Whoa, wrong thing. There we go. Holding his weapon like that. But I like flipping the body around a little bit. Be able to show off the neck just a hair. And it gives him leaning into the character more instead of leaning away from the character, which is more aggressive. I really want this guy to be aggressive. I also have his, let's take this, add a layer here, select the body, select this picture. So I also have his hand here and his spear going off this way, in the same direction I've got his sword in the piece. So I'm going to cross his little halberd here, which we're just going to steal from a previous page. No need to redraw it. We're going to put it here, which means, let's get out the magic red and make that transparent. And we're going to get out a circle, which means we're going to have a hand roughly there, you think? Let's see, we're going to have a hand here, and then maybe his backhand will be here. And might have to adjust this. So let's go open said page that we're stealing things from. And I believe H is for halls. This is where our goblins first make their appearance, which is right here. And here's his weapon in question. And these guys are heavily have effects on them, have heavy effects on them. You see they don't look as green as the one I've drawn, but they are. It's the same green. I just have tons of effects going on here. So we also have bracers we've got to draw. We've got hands we're going to draw, but I want this. So we're going to go find our goblin. Goblin red eye pop, I guess. Is he pop? He's not goblin one. No. He's goblin one. Okay. He's the leader. Following the leader, the leader, the leader. Hiding the shadows. See? Told you it was green. And he won't be so dark. But we are going to grab. We'll get his feather too while we're in here. And let's go ahead and grab this and this. Not that we need it. We're going to have the backs of his hands, so we don't need to borrow these hands. So now let's come over here to eye, and we have a layer for those hands. Let's do a layer for the spear, halberd, whatever. And let's paste that in the center. It is itty bitty. Gonna modify, transform, flip it, and we kind of know where the hands were, so I'm going to change its angle just a little bit. This also shows me where we need to be holding this. You'd probably hold it out a little bit further. And we'll look at the composition here in a second. I don't think I'm going to be happy with it. But this kind of gives me an idea. We know we're going to have a hand here. Oh, and the head's going to be behind all this. So what am I thinking? Well, put you there. And we know this hand's going to be here. There, and then let's take this. No. I don't want to make it too big, but it does feel like it needs to be bigger. Maybe just a titch. So he was wielding it one-handed in the previous scene. All right. So let's hide everything but the spear, and let's clean up the spear for the moment. I'm not sure what duties this poor spear is going to have to perform, but let's get it ready. Getting rid of all the goblin green. All right. That. Let's do this, that. Ooh. What's going on here? Do we have our, okay, that's on. Got all that, all right. Why is that not meshing? I guess it is. It's just an optical illusion. Let's get rid of these. Alrighty. Good enough. Let's put everything visible again. And this is going to help me figure out his elbow placements, because as long as the hands are holding the spear at least semi-correctly, it'll help me figure out the shoulders and the arms and stuff. So let's go back to the scene. We don't need this reference anymore, do we? So let's get rid of that. Bye-bye. Goodbye. You have mail. And again, we're not going to need it all because a lot of it's going to get hidden. I do want to overdraw it a little bit, just simply because in case I want to move some stuff around, I don't have to panic. Okay, so this works in so much as the back goblin over the main character's head, which still doesn't have a name. I'm going to spoil the book. He doesn't make it. But he does deserve a name. I would love to challenge you guys to come up with the appropriate name for our doomed adventurer, who will only ever probably be seen in this poor book. Even an appearance in Dungeon O comic here and there. But yeah, this poor guy's not going to survive. Don't want to spoil it for you. But this is a concept I built with a friend many moons ago when I was first becoming, when I first decided I wanted to do this. Came up with a book concept, and the name of the book was going to be How to Slay a Dragon and Other Stupid Ideas. This is just a retelling of some of those thoughts. So I'm not giving anything away by saying this guy don't make it. Nicole, are you enjoying popping in and saying hello? You've been very quiet. I know you're probably at work, but hey, say hi. Let us know you're out there. Thank you very much for liking the stream. Which brings me to my segue. If you like this, if you want me to continue doing Tuesday and Thursdays, let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of work and you want to see more of it, do the whole, spiel, like, follow, share, whatever platform you're on. I am streaming to Facebook, I am streaming to Twitch, and I am streaming to YouTube, all three of these platforms. We were doing Trovo, but Trovo is having issues, and I'm not sure that's a lot of people say it's a good place for artists, but I'm not seeing a lot of artists on there. I'm seeing a plethora of gamers, and if you want to watch gamers, that's a good place to go, but I don't think that's going to be a fit for me. If you want to support me more directly, you can do that by buying me a cup of coffee, or is it buymeacoffee.com, chain reaction. That part right there, chain reaction. Buymeacoffee.com, chain reaction. And you can support me directly. Every bit goes to fueling my caffeine-powered art engine. Say that 10 times fast. And I hate doing the shameless plugs. But the fact of the matter is, this stuff needs maintenance and repair and wear and tear and upgrading, and I definitely want to get my work in front of you, but then there's, production costs. Everything, there's production costs to everything, oh my goodness. If you've ever tried doing crafts on a larger scale, it doesn't scale. And so if you've done that, you know what I'm talking about. It's everything comes with a cost behind it. And that's a shame. But I get to share this with you guys. If you like it, throw a coin to your artist. I'm not a witcher, don't have the hair, not anymore. But I would appreciate the gesture nonetheless. So, all right, back to the live action. Where do I get these things? All right, let's go back to our goblin leader here. So this is going to work for me because it's not going to hide this guy back here, and the feather, I was a little bit worried we're not even going to see the feather. It's not going to hide this guy here. We've got just enough body here. I'm going to have to make sure I get the elbows right. So we're going to see a little bit of this goblin on here, which is going to hide this blank area, which is what I'm concerned with. But see, here's the sword. And this is what I was concerned with, is I had a spear running in the same direction as the sword, and I think it was going to just get a little lost or busy, or I like this crossing better. So this makes me feel good about where we're going with our Gobo leader. So we just need to work on a neck, get some arms on this boy, figure out his hands, which doesn't need a lot of detail because they're hidden. But we're going to do it anyway in case, like I said, I need to massage this guy around. For example, this is why I do things in brushes like this, so that if I need to move him as a whole, it's not going to be as big of a problem. There we go. All right. So like I said, back to the live action. Wink. All right. This works. So far, so good. Sweet. We're going to go and open up the leader, and we have a body. I'm going to work on the body now. I'm going to have these arms. I'm just going to draw lines right now, just kind of get a general feel for the angles involved. Here, let's start with this guy. Let's go out. Ooh, wrong color. Not that there's a right color either, but let's go forearm to elbow. Let's go shoulder to there. So that's a pretty good angle there. I might tweak it a little bit, but oh, you know what? I probably should have done this. Let's do this on a slightly different level so that I can move things a little more easily, such as grabbing this corner and playing with that. And then, you know, this guy is going to be probably to here. And if I'm speaking too soft, let me know. And then I can play around with this until I get what I like, what feels right. And it's just a little trick. Move it to the center of the shoulder, so that I can get the sleeves and the foreshortening and everything. I mean, you don't have to draw everything Michelangelo from beginning to end. You can use squiggles and lines and circles to kind of rough some stuff out. And speaking of which, I'm going to steal his pants. That's what I'm going to do. I don't need to redraw them, and you're probably not going to see about that much of them. So I'm going to steal his pants. And I'm going to put them, actually, hang on, let's make sure the shirt's the right shape, because it's more of a whoop, not a whoop on him. So let's adjust that too while we're in here. So we're going to take this color, get rid of it. Take this line and this line out. Actually, let's just hide everything but the shirt. And we're going to bring this line more out. Just the general shape. Get it more close to the feel of our first introduction to him. I'm not liking this. This bothers me. Of course you're going to do that. You know what? Okay. You and you. And there. Didn't like that, did you? Okay. Yeah, cartoonists do with sound effects. Sorry. And everything that implies. Dun dun dun. Alright. Let's come back over here, grab, wrong thing. Come back over here, grab the shirt color. Now let's go ahead and put that back into here for a moment. And then let's take another look at how I drew that shirt. I did give it a little love, a little faux thickness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to emulate that in the opposite direction. I'm going to go, first I'm going to get this. Why is everything so thin? And then I'm going to go M, that's N. Nope. I had it right the first time. N, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Then we're going to get rid of that. And draw another one. Again, we're not going to see this. This is me overdrawing because I can't stop myself. And then fill that in just a little bit. It makes me feel better. I don't know why. Like tweaking things beyond where they need to be. There we go. I Again, no one's going to see this, but we will know it's there. I guess that's what's important. We will know. All right, so that feels a little bit better. And now I'm going to go and steal those pants, which started this mess. Like I said, we're only going to see a little bit about it, so, and then we'll get the colors of the lions and everything as well. But I'm going to insert a layer, we're going to call it pants, and we'll just stick it underneath the shirt. Alrighty. How's everyone doing out there? Is having a good day? Is things moving along? I know I pasted the pants. There they are. We're going to go modify. We're going to transform and flip those bad boys. I said we're going to modify, transform, and flip those bad. There we go. Of course, they should be a lot bigger, huh? Not that big. Let's see. Yeah, it works. Right there. Even bigger, baby. Here we are. And hey, suddenly we have a character. Woohoo! Show that arms, head, hand, spear, then hands, because hands are going over the spear. And get a general feel for what he's going to look like in the scene by unhiding all and finding that stupid template again. Here we go. And lock. Oop. Undo. Lock. Here we are. So this gives me a little better idea what we're going to be working with. Now, this is just roughing everything out with some basic colors, a few effects like the torch. I still have to do the shine on the swords and all the shadows. There's a little bit of shadow in the hero's face. Just a little here, a little there. Just enough. That was my auto backup kicking in. And did I just do all that and no one saw it? And no one noticed? You guys are supposed to keep me honest. No one saw that. That's awesome. I think I spent a good 10 minutes, maybe longer, on the big camera, and no one saw what I was doing over here. Well, here, let me show at least the end result. Let's hide everything. Let's lock this. Let's hide everything but the Goa leader. Oops. So here's where we I know you guys are out there. I hear you breathing. No one got that. That's funny. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, sorry. Well, it's just me. All by myself. All right. I think this guy's coming along. I think we're going to do another modification. Something about his head in relation to his body is not grokking for me. So I'm going to grab everything. Didn't like it all. I think I did not. Let's grab everything but the head. And this is why I overdraw, so now I can manipulate and I go, dang it, I have to redraw this, I have to redraw that. I know the spear goes over him, so I don't have to worry about that too much. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's take a look. split. Oh, I want to do the opposite of what I just did. There we go. Seem to be having some connection struggles. I'm going to hop out for now, but keep plugging on. I'll talk to you later. Will do. And you can always reach out to me via IM. You can email me. You have all my contact information, so feel free to reach out whenever. I work nights. I don't work tonight, but I'm going to be in the lovely world of Fallout 76, running around and just generally being disruptive, because that's what I get to do on Thursday nights, is kill pixels. And after this week, they must die. So please reach out, talk to me about whatever. I hope it's something fun, and I hope it's a collaboration project. You know how I love those. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. You go and do what you need to do. For the rest of us, it's Goblin time. Dun 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 dun, dun. Goblin time. Yeah, that was horrible. Sorry. Not really that sorry. If I was sorry, I wouldn't do it. All right, let's go back to this guy. Okay, I've got a better handle on what he's going to look like. This is not me shaking my fist at death heaven, but rather, oh wait, my camera's backwards, so it's going to be this. Not going to be this, it's going to be, no, oh, he's got a thing in his hand. So glad we had this time together. Hands. All right. I think. Look at that bumble. Yeah. But it's this. Well, technically. I'm using the camera to kind of figure out how I want to draw this. I have a stick. A ruler. Never leave home without it. Oh, wrong hand. All right. Sneaking up. Okay. So, this is going to be pretty much a triangle or a rhombozoid or whatever. Not square, and not rectangle is. But we're going to do this. Also notice how the fingers come down like a fan. They're not straight, even though this is. They're not. So at least got this angle fairly correct. I think it's got a more like this. And I'm doing this. So we're going to come up out of that into a triangle. It won't be a cartoony triangle, but a triangle nonetheless. Oops. Cancel. We're going to not select the hands, and we're going to insert a layer just so we can work independent of everything. And we're going to go vaguely like that, and then the fingers. That's why I'm working with a circle, because the circle understands what I'm trying to do. That. Alrighty. And then we have his vambrace. Here. No. seems a bit extreme. Let's hide. I assume this is the arms. Oh, that's the head, the arms. There we go. Now I don't have something for it to snap against. And we're going to put a circle in here. Work out that meaty area just before we hit the elbow. And we'll put another little circle to kind of make the nubbin on the elbows. Well, I've got nubbins. I don't know about you guys, but I got nubbins. So we're going to make a real small circle. There we go. Get that in there. Get the angle right. All right. Now let's get rid of that line. Whoop. Where the heck are we? Text box. Back to you. Get rid of that line. I'm gonna just add in some lines. From here to here. Here to here, and then the goblins, we're not going to give them a lot of arm strength.